5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm John Miglosh for the Wisconsin DMA and the International Society for Strategic Marketing. Oh my gosh, this looks terrible. And it reset this morning. No idea. Can't fix it. So we just go with it. Okay? Yeah, good morning, Phoenix. Sound here. Good. Thank you. Thank you for the comments. I always like the comments. I got it all set up. Okay, Carnival has every reason to be back in the U.S. by the end of the year. Good news, but down in the subhead, more guests are requesting refunds than are booking cruises. So it might be a good time to get a cruise booked. I think so. I loved cruise. I actually lost weight because I only ate the stuff I wanted and stay away from the chocolate party. It's kind of disgusting anyway. I mean, what do you need to just gorge on chocolate for? Just stay away from that. Stay away from the taco bar. Eat the good stuff. Good breakfast, good dinner. You'll be fine. And get out in the sun. So I'm saying book a cruise. Okay, here's something. Some onions were too sexy for Facebook. There's a little company, seed company out in Newfoundland that found that their onion image could have been mistaken for body parts. And so Facebook banned their ads and they appealed. And they appealed the onion ruling. And they found that Facebook would let them, not only did Facebook let them back in, but Facebook boosted their ad. And they sold more onion seeds in 3 days than they sold in the last 5 years of the Walla Walla onions. And consumers have responded by sending sexy pictures of carrots and pumpkins. What a world we live in. Yes, sirree. Okay, this was an amazing article. 5 tips to direct mail mastery. And we'll see, we'll switch over here to the YouTube channel. We'll see if it goes through. No, as usual, not, but we'll get it, we'll fix it. This I know how to fix pretty fast. Okay, there we go. Nope, that's not it. There we go. 5 tips. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we'll say okay. Now, this is from Break and Front End Magazine. And this is what we're looking for. We're looking for industries to admit and realize that a vast number of their retailers or their partners are using mail, and it's really effective. So Break and Front End is saying, okay, let's do it right. And look at this video. I mean, this is unbelievably great. I think it is anyway. I got to get it lined up a little bit here. Here we go.
Welcome to the MyPlaceForParts.com garage, presented in partnership with ShopOwner. And now here's your host, Doug Kaufman.
Despite the convenience and speed of email and texting, most automotive repair facilities still rely on good old-fashioned direct mail as a key marketing strategy. It's a great idea, as long as you do it right. According to a recent study, nearly 3/4 of people asked said they had responded to a direct mail piece within the past 3 months, and 20% said they'd responded to direct mail within the past week. It didn't matter whether they were young or old. In fact, 63% of tech-savvy millennials in the survey who responded to direct mail actually bought something. How can your next direct mail campaign get these results? These 5 tips can help. Be sure your headline includes at least one concrete benefit to get readers' attention and draw them into the rest of the letter. And don't forget about the Johnson box. Experts say this box, containing the most important message in your campaign, can boost response rates by up to 40%. Your letter needs to be written well.
Okay. Anyway, we can go down to the PDF of the article. Oh, but before we do, I wanted to just scroll down and show you that what this, here's Apex Experience. I don't know what that is. Here's a thing on Don't Lock Yourself Out tool. Like if you change some parts on really up-to-date cars, they'll lock you out and you won't be able to drive the car. Especially if you put in an aftermarket like I do in Lexuses. Okay. Also, your vehicle data is being collected and shared, but you don't know anything about it. They can measure, as Allstate has been saying, we good drivers, but they ask you to give them access to the accelerometer data so they can tell how fast you're accelerating, how fast you're stopping, how much you jostle around. All of that stuff affects and maybe how fast you're going compared to the speed limit if they took your Waze data. Anyway, the point is this is a car parts site to help mechanics, and they're suggesting mail. I want you to know I've had like 3 calls just yesterday about people saying, why don't we try mail? There was one call from a company that normally goes to a conference, a business conference, and I said, how much do you spend going there? And they said, oh, $2,000-$3,000. And, I said, how many leads do you collect? And they said, oh, 30 to 50. And I said, and how many orders do you get? And they're selling a pretty high ticket piece of software. And they said, 3 to 5. I said, okay, so let's run the numbers. And how big is your list? And they said, oh, 3 or 4,000. I said, okay. So for the same kind of money, you can do a mailing. And I explained them some tips on how to do a letter. And I said, let's see if we had 3,000 pieces going out and you wanted to get 30 to 50, that's 1 to 2% more or less of leads. That's absolutely doable. In fact, it could be 10 times that if it's a good offer. And I said, and then the conversion rate you're expecting would be, 3 out of 30. That's about a 10% conversion. Also very, very doable. He said, we're going to try it. There's a company, and it's a high-tech company. They basically have Apple business-to-business support. Really excited. Another guy wrote me this yesterday and said, do you help with creative? I started in creative. Everybody thinks I'm in I'm in data. Well, that's because there aren't many creative people in data. But I got another person joining the WDMA. I want to really encourage you. Well, we'll get into that in a minute. But anyway, here's the rest of the tips. Be sure your headline includes one concrete benefit, a well-written letter, and, I could help you with that. Send it over. White space if you join the WDMA. White space, be careful with white space. Sometimes you're better off making a good point than having a lot of extra white. White does not sell. Looks nice. But his last point is, don't worry too much about the creative. And I would say that the white space one is out of place. Call to action. Okay, and we're going to talk about that in the next article. A strategic PS in the line. Okay, I once wrote a letter, just writing the letter for the blood center. For the heart, American Heart Association in Milwaukee. Yeah, join. Put the link up there. Whoever put that up, and for the Heart Association, and they generated $800,000, which was double what they generated the year before. The year before, they wrote a 3-page letter that talked about all the things Anyway, what I did was I said, what have you done for heart disease? And they mentioned a couple things right off the top of their head. I said, let's talk about that. Let's talk about what you're doing for people, instead of just talking about yourself and how big your organization is and all that. Well, it raised double, and it was 1 page, so anyway, I'm not against 3-page letters. Don't worry about your logo. Don't use bad photos, which can mean a lot of things. Don't obsess over the creative. Anyway, excellent. Direct mail renaissance right now. Mucinex, this was a great thing. Okay, Mucinex merges direct mail mobile to drive omni-channel trial experience. This is unbelievably great. In November of last year, they wanted to raise brand awareness and drive more orders through e-commerce partners, but they used dextromethorphan, whatever that is, but you can't for their night shift product, but it can't be shipped, so they couldn't sample. They wanted to sample, but they couldn't sample. So instead, they mailed little tissue boxes and a QR code, and that would take you to the latest Mucinex TV spot, and you could place orders to be picked up in the store. They wanted to drive traffic to Walmart e-commerce. The return of the QR codes. The article makes the point and now they didn't do them with and without, which is what I would have liked to test, but they did 35,000 households and sold a total of $241,000. But the great thing is that with the QR codes, Now they're embedded in the smartphone. With digitized sampling, you get to know what you're doing. You could take consumers to a Facebook message center, online live chat. You could take them to your to a community of users. You could ask them about what they think of it. There's so many options that you can do rather than just putting a link in there or something like that. The dollars are spent so much more wisely. It's not a blanket kind of approach. This sounds like 1981 when I got in. We're suddenly discovering the huge benefits of mail. It's so exciting. Now, the last thing I want to talk about, unbelievable, excellent article, Bravery, the underrated value of chief marketing officers. Okay? If you even listen to this this live stream regularly, you have to have Bravery. Oops, I forgot to turn that back on. You have to have Bravery. Okay? It's an underrated value for chief marketing officers. Marketing is predicting the future. We're trying, and it doesn't come with a crystal ball. We're trying to guess the next market, the next promotion, how many do we target? What happens if the Titanic sinks the day after the campaign hits? And that stuff does happen. And if you have been in it long enough, you know. I used to feel really bad. The accounting department would have numbers that tied out to the penny. And the best I could do, for a multi-million-dollar company was project within 1 or 2%, which I did year after year. That's actually extraordinarily good. I did 6 years in a row, and we were within 10% every year. We were within 6% all but one, and we had tools for that. But the bottom line is it never tied out to the penny. Sometimes there was too much inventory. Sometimes there was not enough if the marketing campaign was really good. And that's the way marketing is. And so it takes bravery. It takes bravery to challenge the norms. Marketing is always buzzwords. So it's easy to go say, oh, we need AI, or we need big data, or we always need something because we're looking for opportunities. We want more insight. And every good insight generates 2 more questions. I don't know if you've figured that out yet, but I have a great article called How to Get Bitheads to Do What You Want. And it basically says that the IT department knows that you ask for twice what you need, and so they give you half of what you ask for. It's just not probably the right half. And there's always this contention. And when I give that talk, people said, have you been in our conference room? No, it's the way it is. It's the way people think. It's opportunity versus procedure. And there's always a tension. So be brave, challenge the norms, contrarian marketing. And right now the mailboxes have a lot of room. Well, maybe not the consumer ones, but the business-to-business mailboxes are empty. So if you're in business-to-business, by all means, join the WDMA, give me a call, let's talk about your application, let's work together. Let's unite behind the most powerful tools that marketing ever had that they don't realize. Have a great day, like and share, be brave, and your friends will know you're smart. Bye-bye. We'll put this, I don't know what, be brave. Brave versus cowardly. That's a good final screen. I don't know if it worked on anything, but it seems to. So I have to talk a little while or it chops me off. Bye-bye. Yeah, I can see it. It chops me off almost immediately, even though there's a big lag in the whole thing. So you don't have to watch this part, but